Hey friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. My name's Tanya and it's a Friday evening and I've got my rolls just made, my hamburger buns actually, and I'm making sloppy joes. So that's what we're having for dinner tonight and I wanted to bring you along. I'm to the point now to where I feel guilty if I don't video whatever I'm cooking, so I guess I'm in this for the long haul. So let's get started. I have my larger saucepan heating up. I have my ground beef right here. You can see the package of it. I've cut an X in the top of it. This is just the easiest way I've found to get this out without touching it any more than I absolutely have to. And it comes out without leaving too much residual in the package. I make this for our kids at day camp during the summer. I've talked to you about other things I've made, like the day camp vegetable soup I make and they like so much. Now, we serve this on hot dog buns at day camp, and we call them sloppy dogs. So our kids at church have no idea that these are actually called sloppy joes, because if somebody says sloppy joes, the kids just look at them like they're saying that wrong. To them, this is sloppy dogs because they're on a hot dog bun, and the kids honestly love them. Now, if you're like me, the first time I ever tried sloppy joes, it was the kind from a can, and that's what most people tend to use. But I was at a friend's house, and there were several kids in the family, and it was during the summer, and the mom yelled that lunch was ready, and we all ran in the house, washed our hands, sat down at the table, and I couldn't figure out what in the world it was we were having. I was raised in the country and we didn't eat sloppy joes. So they all started eating it and I was just following suit. I was putting it on a bun just like they were, and I took a bite of it, and honestly I thought it was a dessert. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Country girl here, I'm just lost as a goose when it comes to eating city food. So needless to say, it was a very long time before I ever had it again, because I was not crazy about the super sweet filling that was inside that bun. I ate it without complaining, of course. That's just how you do when you are taught manners. And when I got older, we had some gatherings. There was a group going on a mission trip, and I remember we got together and they were serving sloppy joes that night, and I kept thinking, oh my goodness, I hope it's not anything like it was when I was a kid, because I remembered how horrible it was. And sure enough, it was. But I think I ate enough potato chips where the saltiness of the potato chips drowned out the sweetness, and I could choke one down without making too much of a face. So fast forward to adulthood, and I have figured out how to make these and not make them quite so sweet. And I will say, it's so much better than out of a can. I'd honestly be shocked probably. So if your kids have never experienced sloppy joes anywhere, which is probably the sweet stuff out of a can, just turn them onto this and tell them that's what they're supposed to be like, and they'll be all the better for it. Okay, we have our ground beef almost browned, and to this we are going to add half a cup of chopped onions. I use my little onion chopper that you slam the lid down on. It's pretty handy. I get to where I get ready to chop an onion. That's just the first thing I grab is that onion chopper. This is a prime example of why you buy green peppers, particularly organic ones, when they're on sale. Just buy a bunch of them, chop them, wash them, take the seeds out of them, and chop them up into little pieces about like that, because in dishes like this, the texture does not matter. You're just after the flavor. So we're going to get 1/4 of a cup of green pepper. This is frozen, but it's not going to be frozen for long. We have 1/4 of a cup of tomato paste. So that's not a full can. Tomato paste normally comes, unless it's in a tube that's the concentrated kind, you're going to get it in a small can, and this is not quite a can of it. It's around half of the can, so just measure out 1/4 of a cup of that. Now be sure and read the labels. You're going to become a label reader, if nothing else, by these recipes that I'm sharing with you, because just because it's the same brand you've always bought, the same label, the same everything, doesn't mean it's the same ingredient. And tomato sauce is one of those things specifically that I'm referring to, and tomato paste as well, but the tomato sauce in particular, I buy the organic brand at our local big store in town, and one time it'll have sugar in it, and the next time no sugar on the label, no grams of sugar. So just different manufacturers, different providers, and they put different ingredients in it. So read your labels, see if it has the ingredients that you want in there, because if not, just don't buy it. I'll need 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. This is our garlic powder. A 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder. About a teaspoon of honey. The recipe calls for sugar, but it's my recipe. I made it up. I can change it if I want to, so I'm changing it to honey. We're going to need a tablespoon. Back up there, little guy. You're going to need a tablespoon of just plain yellow mustard. Make sure you can see the label. We're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. So about 1/2 tablespoon. And then 8 ounces of tomato sauce. You've got your tomato paste in here. This is the tomato sauce. By this time, our ground beef is pretty much browned all the way. Right now, what we're after is the onions to soften, turn clear, for the peppers to cook, and pretty much that's it for this dish. It just goes together incredibly quickly. I would say if you don't have the canned Sloppy Joe sauce, canned, jarred, packet, whatever it is, and you have to run to the store and get it, you could probably make this quicker because the ingredients are likely in your pantry if you have a well-stocked pantry. So this might very well come together quicker than if you could run to the store and buy a jar of that other stuff, that tomato flavored frosting flavored stuff. Okay, we're going to turn our heat down. Put our lid on it and let that simmer. So, I will try to remember to video when we sit down for dinner tonight. I'll put one of these together with the bun, have the sloppy dog mix on it, the sloppy Joe mix, and shoot a few second video of that. But hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's been something beneficial to you, especially those moms out there with kids that you just run out of ideas of things to make. And it's not loaded with sugar. I think your kids are going to really like it. I, as a big kid, really like it. So hope you've enjoyed this. I look forward to sharing something with you on the next video. But hang around and we'll see if we can get a few seconds of the video of the final product. Thanks, guys.